Have you ever wondered how to teach your kids about money in a fun way? I want to share with you Cashflow for Kids. This is my simple review. Our kids really loved it. We've had it for over a year, and since as young as 4 to as old as 8, they found it engaging and interesting. And I think I agree. It's a good tool for parents to teach their kids about money. So we have a game board here. This is the starting point, and we have player tokens start here, and then we go around in a clockwise fashion. When you land on red, you get a liability card. When you land on green, you get an asset card. When you pass or land on a payday, you get your payday. So payday is your salary. Everybody has a salary of $1,000 plus minus your expenses, which are these tokens. So in this example, it's 800, that's 200, plus cash flow, which is 200 here. So that's 1,000 minus 800 plus 200, which is 200 plus 200, 400. So this player has a payday of $400. And then when you pass this yellow one, sunshine, you get to pick a sunshine card. Now, we have a bank over here. Somebody needs to be a banker and hand out these paper notes. At the start of the game, everybody has $3,000 worth of this cash money and $700 worth of expenses. And these green tokens represent cash flow, $100 each. And these represent liabilities or expenses, $100 each as well. Now, when you get an liability card, takes money from your pocket, sometimes you have to keep it. Like this, buying new school supplies. You have to borrow money, keep it, and you have to pay it $200 every month for this. Let's look at some other examples. Here, for this one, buying ice cream for your friends, this you pay cash and return it to the deck, so you don't get to keep a red token. This one you decide, so your child has to make a choice. Do I pay with my paper cash, or do I borrow money and then it goes as an expense every month on my income statement? And the last one that we'll look at is similar. So they have a choice. You're buying a video game system. Are you going to borrow money and then pay it back as a monthly expense? Or are you going to pay cash now and be done with it? So this is a taste of some of the lessons your children will be learning through that. Let's look at some of the assets. So this one, a real estate deal that you pay $900. Sometimes people don't have the cash to pay, and even in real life, that's a lesson. So if they have the cash, they can consider this, and they know it gets them $200 worth of cash flow, which are the 2 green coins. Sometimes there's no cash flow, and your child has to figure out, do I want to spend my money even though it doesn't have cash flow? Another example is a home business. So here they get a cotton candy machine that they can hire out for events and parties, and it gives them $100. Startup cost was $0 because their uncle gave it to them. And in real life, maybe something like this could happen. Being able to sell sweets or start a business for $0 with some help. Intellectual property, this is another kind of asset. So here the child draws something which gets licensed by a clothing brand, and they get paid this amount of money. And then for some businesses, this is a home business creating an auction to sell unused action figures. So here you get to spin this wheel, and then if it lands on 500, you get $500. And you can be creative. At some point we misplaced our spinner, and so what we did, we'd just roll this dice and say, if it lands less than 3 or less than 4, you get nothing. If it's more than 3, then take that number and multiply it by 100. Some of these rules you can be creative with, and just move as the game goes. So this die, by the way, and there's a second one here, is used to determine how many steps you make. So if I'm this player and I roll 2, then I go 1, 2, and I have to pick that. The game comes with some instruction manual, which also helps to figure out how to play this. I feel like those are the major components about this game. If you're younger, then you might need help reading the cards. If you're older, like around 6, 7, then you'll be able to play this game and read the cards by yourself. Grown-ups are also able to play this card and enjoy, not just children, but it was designed specifically to make it easy for kids to play. It's specified as for children ages 6 and older. Our youngest started playing at 4, and I mean, we used to read the cards for her, but she found it a lot of fun even at that age. But now that they're older and with our older kids, then we see it makes much more sense. So I would agree, 6 years to 12 makes more sense. Let me see, what else? Education value. So there's what the game teaches about money, being able to differentiate between the liabilities and assets, the expenses and the cash flow, and winning is when you have more cash flow than your expenses, and translating that into real life, looking at different business ideas, intellectual property ideas, some that kids might be able to resonate with. That's also here, things like charity, things like gifts, and how to treat that, how cash is not necessarily the same as cash flow. You get some of these things as you play the game. There's a bit of understanding, a bit of luck, and some emotions involved sometimes. So I think it's possible to learn money lessons from this game that are related to financial concepts. The older you are, the more you can grasp. The younger you are, you'll still grasp something, but not everything. Our kids enjoy playing this. It takes about 1.5 hours to play just one game, or even more. And so they love asking, when are we going to play this game next? And so just a warning about that. You could actually play it for even a whole morning or afternoon. You can modify the game as needed. And if you have older kids who are comfortable managing this section, the banking section, then they could even play independently without you. But if they're younger, then they need adult support or support from an older kid to be able to manage the different banking needs. Overall, I'd recommend this game. If you're a purposeful parent and want your children to learn about money through a fun and interactive way, then this is a good option. And it's not just about the game itself, it's also about the conversations that you have about the different scenarios you see and how the child responds emotionally when things are going well, things are not going well. You could have questions that you ask. They might ask you questions about some of the terms and some of the plays that are there. So yes, financial stewardship is an important area for everyone. We're all going to have to account one day. If you're able to give your child a good foundation in this area while also bonding and having fun, then I think that's a really nice proposition. If you're considering getting this or the regular one, I think the regular one might be good for older children and grown-ups. This is specifically created for younger ones. It's much easier to play when you're using these tokens and this paper money. And then the other one has the fast lane on the outside. This one only has this rat race portion. So you can consider those things. But overall, I think it's a good concept and a good game to try out. Yes, until next time. grow the good, be purposeful in your parenting, and stay blessed by the best.